All right, find a seat up on your lift, cross your legs in the center of your shins. Take your feet beneath your knees as best they can get there, but maintain a sense of ease about the pose. Right, so we were talking before we got started here. Someone was bringing up restorative poses. And the benefit of restoratives is the sense of support and ease that they give you. So can you find, this is not a restorative pose. But sometimes we save that ease for restorative poses. And the question is, how can you find a sense of ease here? How can you invite ease into this moment? Is there a gripping in the inner thighs? Can you let that release? Can you compact the outer hips together without gripping the inner thighs so that you can create a solid base for your torso to rest on with ease, so that your torso isn't collapsing, but it's lifted with ease, right? There's the struggle lifting, I can work and lift my chest, not that one. But if you create that solid base, if you compact your hips together, there's an ease that can be created for the lift of the chest, the side ribs, the whole torso. And if you are able to create a sense of ease, can you notice how that changes the experience of the breath in the body? That when you're in an easeful state, the breath changes. And to be clear, you can do it in reverse, and that's why people teach, take a slow, deep breath, and that creates ease. That is true. But as a long-term practice, from my personal perspective anyway, I found it beneficial to create the conditions that will allow the breath to be deeper, smoother. To be clear, no such thing as a bad breath. No good breaths, bad breaths. We observe the breath as it is. But deep breaths can be calming. And you can force a deep breath, or you can create the body conditions to allow for a deep breath. Allow the shoulders to release down, lengthen from the inner armpit to the inner elbow. Also remember, you don't need to breathe, the breath will breathe you. Create the conditions for an easeful breath and allow the breath to breathe you. And you become a witness for the breath. Yoga takes place when the seer and the seen become one. We spend most of our time being the seen. The voice in the head judging things. Can you practice being the seer? Eventually, yes, we want them to merge. But we can't have them merge until we know the experience of the seer. And as you see, as you witness, can you do it from a judgeless state? Maintain everything. Move the forearms to bring the palms together. Notice how that singular action may have changed the breath, how the breath breathes you. Aim your awareness to the center part of your brain. And let's chant the syllable Om 3 times together. Exhaling completely. Deep inhalation. Lower your chin towards your heart. Release your hands on your thighs with your palms up. With your eyes closed, raise your head. From the back of your head, gently let your eyes open. Can you maintain for a moment here, perhaps through the class, but for a moment here, the awareness of the seer? All right, we finished our opening, and the instinct is we are now ready to do. Okay, what's the first pose? Where will we go today? And it's okay for those thoughts to be there, and the seer witnesses those thoughts. It witnesses that part of us that wants to do more, that wants to keep going, that wants to know what's next, that wants to do. The seer witnesses that. So it's not that that doesn't exist, it does. And that's the scene. And it starts by the seer simply watching the scene, watching yourself. And some of you, as you do this, will find a curious and interesting experience. And others of you will be, when are we going to get the heck out of this seated pose so we can move on? And I want to be clear that both of those experiences, feelings, are totally appropriate. And we can still practice the experience of the seer. And release. All right, we are going to start out in a somewhat restorative pose, because I think everyone has what they need. So we'll do Setu Bandha. We've done it before. So you'll take one blanket from this size, fold it in half, and it can be a towel, blanket, and anything. So so it comes out to this size. Your head, your shoulders will be on the blanket, and your head will be on your mat or on the floor. If you have a hard wooden floor, have it on your mat. Don't have your head on the hard wooden floor. And then your choices, if you have a block or a book, I kind of like that. But if you don't, the lift you sat on will be fine. I kind of took one blanket off. So you can put your sacrum here on the lift. What I'm going to seek to do is to have a lift here for my feet as well. You don't have to have this for your feet. If you have lower back issues when you get into the pose, then you definitely want something higher for your feet. It doesn't have to be blankets. It can be pillows from the couch. It can be books from the bookshelf. It can be a pot. And how we'll get into it is you have your block. I'm going to let you pick the height. If you want a medium height, that's fine. If you're more flexible, as we were talking about before we started the class, those of you that were on, don't let your ego guide you. Let your body guide you. Let your intuition guide you. But some of you are more flexible, and a high block is fine. So if you know how to get into it, you can get into it. But otherwise, watch. Take your shoulders on the blanket. Head is on the floor. You lift your buttocks up. If it's at the medium height, the block goes this way, the width of your body, at the sacrum, not the lower back. Roll your shoulders under and straighten your legs. I don't like where that blanket is. So, you can come out and fix that. So your heels are comfortably on the blanket. And if you want the high height, you come to the high height, turn the block so it's the direction of your spine. Again, at your sacrum. And you can also take a higher lift for your feet here, and you get the opening of the chest. All right, so do whichever of those versions is appropriate for you. Today, for me, I can do the high height, but the truth is, starting out, first pose after our opening, I might just be here, and it's giving me less stretch, but it gives me more ease, and my goal today is ease. They tell you to roll the upper arms out here, but there are reasons you can also turn the palms down. So do whichever gives you a larger sense of ease, a greater sense of ease. Palms up, palms down. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll take a look at the screen for those who I can see how things are looking. If anything wasn't clear, please let me know. Cindy, that block is a little high on your lower back. I would move it down. Bend your legs, lift your buttocks, just move it down a little bit towards your heels. There you go. Good. And then straighten your legs. And if that still gives you a sense of ease, be there. If I was wrong, you can always move it back. You don't have to trust me. Good. We'll be here for a few minutes. Now see if you can turn the thighs in so the toes point up. If anything I say takes away ease, then don't do it. That's fine. And allow the tops of the thigh bones to press down. And can you find an elongation from the inner thigh through the inner knee, through the inner heel? And an elongation from the upper inner thigh over the lower abdomen and towards the chest. Soften your throat. There's nothing more important right now than your soft throat. And from this place, can you become a witness for the breath? Seek the awareness of the seer, observing as the breath breathes you. Notice when your awareness tries to leave the pose and thinks about other thoughts, quite natural. And notice when that happens. And with a gentleness, with a kindness, with compassion, shift the aim of your awareness back to your body, back to your breath, and become the witness. It can also help to aim your awareness at that center part of your brain, the center of your skull. Bend your legs, place your feet on the floor. ease out of the pose. So lift your buttocks up an inch, then come back down on the block. Lift your buttocks up an inch, come right back down onto the block. Lift your buttocks up an inch, remove the block, come down from the base of from the top of the spine to the base of your spine. Take your sit bones towards your heels. Take a few breaths here. Still witnessing. Pick a side, extend your arm past your ear, roll to that side, and turn to push up. All right, take hold of your strap or strap substitute. So I have a scarf here that I'll be using, although regular yoga strap is certainly fine. You're gonna lie back on your mat. So you can put your blankets off to the side. If you need a blanket for your head, if your head gets thrown back, then take a lift for your head. You don't want your head thrown back. Lie back. You can also, I like to take my hands behind my head and just slightly extend the back of the neck and then place the head down. And again, if your chin moves up, your head gets thrown back, then you take a lift underneath your head. Start with your legs bent, feet on the floor. Bend your right leg into your chest, put the strap around your foot where the heel meets the arch, and straighten your leg. Press the thigh bone back. Soften your shoulders, no death grips on your strap, and press the thigh bone back. Still the extending of the inner leg, so from the inner thigh through the inner knee, through the inner ankle, through the ball of the big toe. Drawing from the outer knee to the outer hip. So there's a lengthening of the groins, lengthening of the inner leg, and press the thigh bone back. Then drag your left heel on the floor. Don't let your right leg move. Don't let the right foot move away from your face. Drag the left heel on the floor, straighten the leg. Don't press the knee down, press the thigh down. So now press both thighs back and lengthen both inner legs. And bend your legs and release. Left leg up. Press the thigh bone back. Again, where the thigh is closer to the hip, not the knee, the thigh. There is an opening in the back of the knee, but that's different than jamming your knee back or jamming the shin bone back where the shin bone meets your knee. Press the thigh bone back. Lengthen through the inner leg, from the inner thigh, through the inner knee, through the inner ankle, through the ball of the big toe. From the upper inner thigh, also draw back towards the abdomen and draw from your outer knee to outer hip. The outer hip does move away from your shoulders. So left outer hip moving away from your left shoulder. The thigh still pressing back. Remember, there is a doing, there is an action or actions, but after you do your actions, can you return to the role of the seer? Or potentially maintaining the role of seer and watching this person, you, do the actions. Now maintain the left leg, drag the right heel on the floor. Keep the left thigh pressing back as you press the right thigh down. Extending both inner legs, drawing both outer knees to outer hips. Really get those thighs pressing down. And take both legs in the strap. Move the thigh bones back. Make sure your heels are directly over your hips, not closer to your face. Press the thigh bones back. Lengthen through the inner legs. Draw the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips, press the thighs back. Now it's interesting. The outer hips come closer together, but the inner thighs move away from each other. So it's these opposite actions. It's as if you're trying to bring your legs closer together, but especially the outer hips, but the inner legs, especially the upper inner thighs, move away from each other. And drop your abdomen onto your spine. And draw your abdomen up underneath the bottom ribs. And then bend your legs, take a rest. We're doing it again in a moment. Witness the breath. Observe the breath breathing you. One more time, bend your legs into your chest, put the strap around your feet where the heel meets the arch. Soften the hands, relax the shoulders, press the thighs back. So try and move the thighs away from the bottom ribs. Okay, not the knees, the thighs. Move your thighs away from your bottom ribs. Compact the outer hips together. We'll lengthen the inner thighs, both directions, out through the heel, through the ball of the toe, back towards the abdomen. Compact the hips together. And as you compact the hips together, spread the upper groins away from each other. And then drop the abdomen onto your spine. And draw the abdomen up underneath your ribs. And then bend your legs. Place your feet on the floor. Put the strap to the side, roll to the right. Go get your chair. Place your chair on the side of the mat. We're doing Paripurna Navasana, boat pose, with the support of the chair. Because I want you to learn how the abdomen can work. So have your chair, it can be any chair, dining room chair is fine. It can be a stool, be a tall pile of books too, coffee table. Have your hands slightly behind your hips. Come close enough to the chair so that when your legs are up, your ankles are at about the height of your eyes, right? So not so far back where you're looking at your toes, but you might have to be a little bit closer, and depending on the height of your chair seat, the chair may hit a different spot. And you can also do this against the wall if you don't have a chair. I don't care if your arms are straight. You might have a little bend in them, that's fine. Lift the chest, but don't puff the ribs forward. So obviously, most of you have seen the final version of this, right? We're here, but I'm trying to get the balance side out of it. Squeeze the legs together. Now lengthen the groins, lengthen from the inner thigh all the way through the inner leg. through the heel, through the ball, through the ankle, ball, and the ball of the big toe. Draw back towards the abdomen and compact the hips together. So same work. And then draw your abdomen in and lift your abdomen up. So it's as if your abdomen is actually helping the lift of the chest. So you don't have to just power lift the chest, but as you draw the abdomen in and up, the chest begins to lift. And release. Just take your legs down, move, give yourself a little space. Take a breath and observe. You can keep the legs together, just so you can be here observing. And one more time. So again, you want the ankles to be at about the length, the height of your eyes. Squeeze your legs together. Lengthen the inner legs out through the inner ankle, through the ball of the big toe, back to upper inner thighs, back towards the abdomen. Draw the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips together. Squeeze those thighs together, compact the hips together. But as you squeeze the thighs together, remember the groins move away from each other, if that's accessible to you. And then draw the abdomen in, draw the abdomen up. Now, if you have your balance, you can extend the arms. Shoulders down. Now maintain the legs. So lengthen the groins, compact the hips. Draw the abdomen in and up, abdomen in and up, abdomen in and up. And then hands down, and then release. So why are we doing all this? I don't teach poses like Bhujangasana Cobra pose enough because people end up feeling it in the lower back because they're not doing the work of the legs or the abdomen. So sometimes I shy away from it, which isn't beneficial. That doesn't benefit you not to do the poses at all, right? So sometimes you just have to get into it. And, you know, I shy away from it, but there are lots of other beneficial poses, but today's the day where we're going to get into it, because when you really begin to get this pose, it can just create wonders for the brain. So watch, just watch for a moment and you know, see what you're able to really get through the screen. First of all, I know many people teach it with the hands low by the bottom ribs, and I know that's the picture in the book. But I'm going to ask you to take your elbows underneath your shoulders. So you can just watch now. So you watch the whole thing. And let me just be clear. When we are in the classroom, and most of you have been in the physical classroom with me, and I have done this pose certainly with a lot of you, if not all of you. You might remember that I keep telling people to move their elbows, so it's really underneath your shoulders. But I can't see all of you. Even those who have cameras on, sometimes it's not at the right angle. So elbows underneath the shoulders. This is not underneath the shoulders. This is not underneath the shoulders. There's this one too. That's definitely not underneath the shoulders. So underneath the shoulders. But the legs, when we're doing back bends, the legs are more important. So look at my legs if you can. So right now, I'm doing nothing with the legs. They're just falling down. I'm going to turn the thighs in. And I'm going to do just what I told you to do before. Press the thighs back. So now the thighs are moving towards the ceiling. Same actions. Lengthen the groin. So I'm lengthening through the inner foot. I'm going to draw the outer knees to the outer hips and compact the hips together. Now I've created a stable place to move the torso without, hopefully, now you still need to look at your body and do what your body requests, but without taking it all in the back, because the legs are doing the work. Now the abdomen helps as well. So draw the abdomen. I'm going to draw the abdomen into my body and drawing it up into my chest. And as I do that, then I'll begin to straighten the arms. Now, as I lift the torso, I forget about the legs, and what happens? Then I'll feel it there. So I have to really keep that awareness on the legs. Thighs up, abdomen in, abdomen up. And then here we are, Bhujangasana. And instead of just, now there is a big curve here. If you look at the book, most back bends are not just in the upper back, but in Light on Yoga, his back bends are at the bottom of the back. But I'm feeling it more, not just at that base where a lot of us feel lower back pain, but in the band right above there is where it's really extending. And it's bringing life into the kidney band, which we all need. All right, we're all going to do it now. The word's clear? All right. So you lie face down. Elbows underneath your shoulders. But we're starting with the legs. You do turn the thighs in. Press the thighs up. Really strongly press those thighs up. The feet stay down. And the hips, this is not Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. It's not upward dog. We're not lifting the hips up. The hips stay down. So the hips go down, the feet go down, the thighs go up. Now extend from the upper inner thigh through the inner knee, through the inner foot. And extend from the upper inner thigh back towards the abdomen. Both directions. Draw the outer knees to the outer hips. Compact the hips together. And yes, the tailbone does move straight down, not a pelvic tilt. So lengthen the inner leg. Compact the hips together. Thighs back, which in this case is towards the ceiling. Do not lose that under any circumstance. Now draw your abdomen in and up. And even without straining your arms, if you do that, if you lift your thighs up, you draw your abdomen in and up, you can feel your torso lifting and lengthening. And now keep that work of the legs, especially the thighs up, lengthening the inner leg, and now begin to straighten the arms. Abdomen in and up, abdomen in and up, abdomen in and up. Lengthen the legs, thighs up. Now become the observer. Then exhale, come down. You can just fold your forearms, rest your head for a moment, let your legs go. Now we are doing it again. If you're having any problems, now is the time to ask. All right. Shoulders, elbows underneath your shoulders. Also, try not to allow your hands to move closer to each other. So your hands and your wrists are then also in line with your elbows, which are in line with your shoulders. Feet together, lift the thighs. And if that's as far as you go, lifting your thighs, that's fine. And if your arms don't straighten all the way, that's fine too. Lift the thighs, lengthen the inner legs in both directions, all the way out through the inner foot, all the way back through the abdomen. It even reflects up into the chest. Keep the thighs moving back, draw the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips together. Now maintain that. Under no circumstances lose that. Draw the abdomen in and up as you straighten the arms. Roll the upper arms out so the shoulders move away from your ears. I'm going to come and see who I can see here. Okay, roll the upper arms out more. Take the shoulders away, everybody, from your ears. Thighs up, thighs up, thighs up. Hips down, thighs up. And then bend your elbows, come down. Rest your forearm. You fold your forearms, rest your head. Any questions? We're doing it again. All right. Now, you can begin to take your hands closer towards you. So if you want to go a little deeper, then you can take your elbows and hands slightly further back. I wouldn't recommend going all the way back, but you can take them a little bit back. Or you can keep them where they were. Thighs up. So feet down, hips down, thighs up. Feet down, hips down, thighs up. Feet down, hips down, thighs up. And if that's all you do, then that's fine. Now lengthen the inner legs. Draw the outer knees to the outer hips. Compact the hips together, even as you're extending the feet away from you. Draw the abdomen in and up. And maybe this is as far as you go. Maybe you keep your hands here just where they are. Keep the thighs pressing up. Lengthen through the legs, thighs up, abdomen in and up, and begin to straighten the arms. Roll the upper arms out. And as you lengthen through the legs, as you press the thighs up, the more you work the legs, maybe your head begins to look up. But it's because of the work of the legs. The legs control the pose. Thighs up, lengthen through the legs. Abdomen in and up to lift the chest more. Then exhale, come down. Rest. Everybody go get your chair. Downward facing dog with your hands on the seat of the chair. So place your hands on the chair just to clear the back for a moment and lengthen. Keep the bottom ribs moving into the body. Press the thighs back. Lengthen the inner thighs. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips. And then look up, walk your feet forward. Come up for Tadasana for a moment. Checking in with yourself. Remember, being the seer, not always the doer. Can you be the seer here? Even here, compacting the hips together, but the tops of the thighs move away from each other. And release. Take the chair, turn the back of the chair towards the front, have a seat in the chair. So just to give you a little heads up with where I'm going with this. So often we might do back bends, we clear the back, we do some twists, we do some forward bends. We're going back to Bhujangasana. We're going to twist, we're going to do some twists to create more mobility in the side ribs and in the spine, and see how that affects our Bhujangasana, our cobra pose. So square your hips, square your knees, heels underneath your knees. Arms forward, arms up. Lengthen, keep that lift, keep those ribs in. So really find that lengthening through the side ribs. Push these sit bones down and lengthen up. Keep that length, take your hands out to the sides, become wider. Keep the lift, inhale, exhale, take hold to the sides of the chair. Inhale, lifting, elbows up, shoulders down, exhale, turning. Inhale, lifting, exhale, turning. Inhale, lifting, exhale, turning. Inhale, on your exhalation, come to center. Other side. Square the hips, knees, heels. Arms forward, arms up. Push the sit bones down, extend through the sides, extend through the arms. Open armpits too, open those armpits. Inhale, exhale, take the arms out to the sides. Inhale, exhale, take hold of the sides of the chair. Inhale, lifting, press down through the sit bones, lift up through the side ribs, exhale, turn. Elbows up, shoulders down. Inhale, lifting, exhale, turn. Don't just turn with the head, turn with the body. Inhale, lifting, exhale, turn. Soft face. If you're grimacing, you're working too hard. Inhale, maintain the lift. Exhale, come to center. One more time. Turn around. Arms forward, arms up. Really lengthen those side ribs. Right twists are more about the lift than the turn itself. You have to lift. Inhale, lift. Exhale, arms out to the side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, turn. Inhale, lift. Exhale, turn more. Keep the front ribs into the body. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. Elbows up, shoulders down. Often I drop my elbows, so I have to keep reminding. Elbows up, shoulders down. Soften the groins, lengthen the inner legs, compact the hips together. Soft face. Inhale, lifting, exhale, coming to center. Turn around. Square the hips, knees, hips, knees, heels, arms forward, arms up. Keep those ribs into the body. Sit bones down, side ribs lengthening. Inhale, lift, exhale, take the arms out to the sides. Inhale, lift, exhale, take hold of the sides of the chair. Inhale, lift, exhale, turn. Elbows up, shoulders down. Soften your face. Inhale, lifting, exhale, turning. Inhale, lifting, exhale, turning. Become a witness to your pose. The breath moves differently in twists. How is it moving now? Inhale, lifting, exhale, come to center. Stand up, take your seat to the side, downward facing dog with the support of the chair. Hands on the chair, walk your feet back. Thighs back, ribs in. The abdomen here also still moves towards the spine, but this time the abdomen moves towards the thighs. And as you move the abdomen towards the thighs, there's a lengthening of the spine and side ribs. So draw your abdomen up, press the thigh bones back, and take the abdomen as if the abdomen itself is pressing your thighs back. Look up, walk your feet forward. Tadasana. Thighs back still, lengthen the groins. Outer knees to outer hips. Compact the hips together as you spread the upper thighs apart. Lengthen up through the side ribs. Extend through the arms. And release. Doesn't quite fit there. You can put the chair away. All right. Bhujangasana. Cobra pose. Come on down. So this is where you can really practice. When you repeat poses like this, you get to really practice being the seer, being the witnesser, because you really get to observe the changes that take place. We just did a couple poses in between. But we still need to work the legs. Thighs up. So feet down, hips down, thighs up. Feet down, hips down, thighs up. Feet down, hip down, thighs up. And I'm repeating myself because I'm hoping that each time I repeat myself, you bring a little bit more awareness there. Every time I do that, feet down, hips down, thighs up, my torso changes. Feet down, hip down, thighs up. Feet down, hip down, thighs up. Now lengthen through the inner legs, from the upper inner thighs out through the whole inner leg, through the inner foot. Maintain that from the upper inner thigh back towards the abdomen. Draw the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips together, but keep extending out through the inner foot. Elbows underneath the shoulders. If you wanted to bring them a little further back, that's fine. But keep the legs, maintain the legs. Feet down, hips down, thighs up. Draw your abdomen in and up as you straighten your arms now. Abdomen in and up. Keep working those legs. Thighs up, lengthen the legs. Thighs up, lengthen the legs. Rotate your upper arms out. Move the shoulders away from your ears and bring your side ribs up past your armpits. They don't really go past, but side ribs up past your armpits as you lengthen those legs. Feet down, hips down, thighs up. Exhale, come down. Fold your arms, rest your head. One more time.
Jonathan.
Yeah. Yes, question, yes.
Can I share something?
Please do.
You said like you're lengthening the leg.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to show, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone here. I'm gonna spotlight Chaya.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Chaya, show.
Okay, you said the lengthening.
Tops of the, yes.
But for me, it's not coming lengthening. So what I did is I tuck my toes. I lengthening my body. You can see my pelvic area. Lengthening.
Show me the length in the leg. I want to see what's not coming.
Yeah. So and
take the tops of the feet down. Yeah.
Lengthening. Before like that, I didn't get lengthening much. I tuck my toes. I lengthening.
You did get lengthening. Take the top of the foot down.
Foot down. And
another one too. Yeah. Other one too.
Other one too.
Take the top of the other. Take there. Now lengthen from your inner thigh through your inner foot.
Yeah. Now I got more lengthening. I feel my thighs. And again, if I came here, my back is not pain anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Before first pose, I got a little, not pain, but something different in my back, this area. Mm-hmm. If I lengthening my legs and pressing thighs, I try to my thighs up.
You just push your knees up.
Okay.
Press your thighs up. The knees will move, but do it from the thighs.
Okay.
Press. Everyone, look at her. Do what you just did. Do what you just did, because someone else is doing the same thing. Okay. That's the shin bone pushing up.
Okay. Now,
so I want you to push the feet down and the hips down, and then take your thighs up.
Thighs up. So here I didn't get any pain.
That's right.
Yeah.
If you work the thighs, you're not going to get the pain.
Okay.
I mean, you might. I shouldn't say that you won't. Everybody's body is different. If you really learn to work the thighs, when you really learn to work the thighs, assuming nothing else detrimental is going on. Let me spotlight me again.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. Of course. When you learn to work the thighs, assuming other things aren't going on in your back, you will either get much less pain in your back or the pain begins to go away. But you have to learn the work of the legs. People think back bends are about the torso. They are not. They are about the legs. That's why the whole beginning of the class, well, I mean, Setu Bandha was a little bit of the chest, but the instructions I gave you were about the legs. Legs. And for these poses, the abdomen. You have to learn to work the legs in order to have a safe back and back bends. And the truth is, when you work the legs more, you get more length on your torso. The more you extend your feet away from you, the more your torso extends the other way. All right, we're going to do it 2 more times. Any other questions? Yes, Seema. Unmute yourself, Seema.
Sorry, I thought it was.
Yes.
So when you are extended with your arms, when your arms are extended, are you still doing the same actions as you are in Ardha Mukha Svanasana, where you're pushing through the balls of your?
Yes, I mean, if I had a 3-hour class, I teach you legs, I teach you shoulders, I teach you torso, and then I teach the pose. But, you know, we're here for an hour and a quarter. So yes, the actions of the arms are Ardha Mukha Svanasana arms. Press the ball of the first finger and thumb, rotate the upper arms out.
Thank you.
Yes. You're welcome. All right, let's go back. So shoulders underneath, elbows underneath the shoulders. Now, if that's comfortable, stay there, or take your elbows a little bit further back. But remember, get your legs first. Ideally, the feet are together here. Toes down, feet down, I should say. Feet down, hips down, thighs up. Now, yes, the knees come up, but it's because you're lifting the thighs up, not because you're lifting the shin bones up. The knee and shin bones are following. Press the feet down, press the hips down, lift the thighs. Press the feet down, press the hips down, lift the thighs. We could just do this for an hour. Press the feet down, press the hips down, lift the thighs. And it would be different every time you do it. Press the feet down, press the hips down, lift the thighs. Now lengthen the inner legs from the inner thigh, out through the inner knee, out through the whole inner foot, through the heel, through the toes. Draw the outer knees to the outer hips and compact the hips together. Now maintain that. My pause was so you paused there and maintained it. What's missing? What are you losing? Are the thighs falling down? Lift the thighs up. Feet down, hips down, thighs up. Now draw your abdomen into your chest and into the spine. Draw your abdomen up into the chest and begin to straighten the arms. Thighs up, thighs up, thighs up, thighs up. Feet down, hips down, thighs up. And yes, press down through the ball of the first finger thumb. Rotate the upper arms up. Make space for the shoulders. Feet down, hips down, thighs up. Lengthen those legs. Don't just puff the ribs out. The ribs still draw in. As you lengthen more through the feet, the torso lengthens more. Exhale, come down. Fold the arms. Rest your head. All right, we have one more. This is it. Any questions? All right. You can keep your elbows where they were, or if you would like, you can take them just a little bit back, 1 inch, 2 inches, not way back. Feet down, hips down, thighs up. 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 Lengthen the inner legs. Draw the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips. Be there for a moment. Maintain that. Really solidify that part of the pose. Observe, be a witness to that part of the pose. Now keep the legs, thighs up, draw your abdomen in and up as you straighten the arms. Extend through the legs to lift the chest. Extend through the legs to lift the chest. Rotate the upper arms out, thighs up. Extend through the legs to lift the chest. Observe your pose. Be the witness. Exhale, come up. Rest your head. Roll to the side. Push yourself up. Get your chair. Downward facing dog, support of the chair. If you really want to do it on the floor, you're welcome to. Otherwise, downward facing dog, support of the chair. Keep the ribs up. Take the top of the buttocks away from your shoulders. Abdomen pressing your thighs back. Look up, walk your feet forward. Tadasana. And release. We're doing Setu Bandha one more time. We started with this pose. I want you to notice the different experience. It's the same name of poses, but it will feel like a different pose. So take your blanket, this thin blanket, right? Or towel, lay that down. You can have your block or whatever you used before. Maybe you had blankets underneath you, that's fine, right? You can have the blankets underneath your buttocks. I'm going to take blankets for my feet again. Shoulders on that folded blanket, head on the mat. Lift your buttocks, place the block, medium height. Maybe you want to try the high height now. You've done a little bit more movement. Roll the shoulders under. Straighten the legs. Palms up, or today, palms down. What's the difference experience for you with your palms up or palms down? Turn the thighs in so the toes are up. The feet can be apart. Allow the front bottom ribs to draw into the body. Lengthen through the inner legs. Still compact the hips together. So it's a restorative pose, but in this version, it's not that there's no work. There is work here. Soft throat. Become a witness. A witness for the body. A witness for the breath. How is this pose different now than it was before? How is the experience of your breath different now than it was before? Thighs still have to press down. That's looking really good, Chaya. If it feels as good as it looks, then you're doing well. Soft throat. In our last minute here, can you completely be a witness for your breath? Allow, I'm not asking for a lot of work here. Allow for the lengthening of the inner thighs. Allow for the descending of the thighs and be a witness for the breath. If it's bothering your back, just bend your legs and keep the lift to the chest and have your legs bent. Coming out, lift your buttocks up an inch, come back down. Lift your buttocks up an inch, come back down onto the block, and then lift up, remove the block. Come down from the top of the spine to the base of your spine. Adjust that blanket so it's comfortable if you're in an uncomfortable place. And then roll to the right, come up or left. Take your chair again, downward facing dog, support of the chair. Draw your abdomen up into your spine, gently, not the hard one. Move your abdomen towards your thighs so that the top of the the top of the buttocks moves away from your shoulders. Help guide the top of the buttocks away from your shoulders. Press your heels down, lift your hips up. Look up, walk your feet forward. Come up. Now you have a choice here. I just want you to ease your back slightly in a forward bend. So you can, if you'd like, you can take a lift. You can be on the floor if you want. But here are the two options. If your knees don't bother you, you can cross your legs. Take an appropriate lift for your chair and rest your head. just easing your skull, easing your back. If you don't like this pose, bothers your knees, then take your feet wide. And again, rest your head. Take an appropriate lift. So take a couple blankets or pillows on the chair. Okay? So either legs crossed, Sukhasana, or legs wide, Upavista Konasana, resting your skull. We are not looking so much for how much of a forward bend you can get, how far can you stretch. That's not what we're looking for. We are looking for ease. I know that Bhujangasana is not always the most easeful pose for some. So if it was easeful for you, wonderful. And if it wasn't, then I want you to return to a state of ease here. Breathe from the base of your spine to the top of your back. Exhale below your navel. Let the skull completely rest. The flesh of the forehead moves from the hairline towards the nose. Breathe from the base of your spine to the top of your back. Exhale below your navel. If you're doing Upavista Konasana with straight legs, you just stay here. If your legs are crossed, then slowly inhale, come up. Change the cross of your legs. Lift up the side ribs and change the cross of your arms to come forward. If you're doing Upavista Konasana with straight legs, you can change the cross of your arms. Rest your skull. The flesh moves from the hairline towards the nose. Breathe from the base of your spine to the top of your back. Exhale below your navel. Abdomen is completely soft here. Abdomen is soft. Can you maintain the perspective of the witness, of the seer? It can help to aim the awareness towards the center of your skull. And slowly inhale, come up. Set up for your Shavasana. Use your chair. I recommend using your chair. So take a blanket for your head, right? Use the flat blanket or folded blanket. I recommend having your calves on the chair. You can put a blanket on the chair too if the chair is cold. And a blanket gently touching your shoulders, supporting your neck and skull. If you want a flat Shavasana, take your flat Shavasana. Let go. Find ease. Or better said, let ease find you. Can you create the conditions so that ease can find you? Surrendering in your legs, surrendering in your arms, surrendering in your torso, including the abdomen, completely letting go, the lower back, completely letting go. Soft throat, soft face, soft skull. Let the eyes rest into your cheekbones. Move the awareness, aim the awareness towards the center of your skull. Be the witness, be the seer. Shavasana. Begin to lengthen the inhalation, lengthen the exhalation. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your nose. Place your hands onto your abdomen or onto your chest. Let the healing energy of your hands penetrate your body, pierce through your layers, and heal whatever it is you may need healing with today. When you feel ready, pick a side, extend your arm past your ear, bend your legs into your chest, roll to the side. When you feel ready, turn yourself towards the floor, push yourself up. Come up chest first, head last. Come up to sitting. Cross your legs the opposite way you started class. Bring your palms together. Aim the awareness towards the center of your skull. Become a witness for this present moment. Seek a judgeless state as you witness this here and now. Take a moment to offer yourself some compassion, some kindness, some understanding. And let's close our practice together, chanting one collective Om. Deep inhalation. And let your eyelids open. Big smile. Namaste. Bow to the divine within you. Thank you, everyone.